When Morning Glory come out, it got universally slated by the British press. And then it went on, you know, to do whatever it done. It was just madness. We sold more singles than people sold albums. You know. I think Don't Look Back in Anger sold well over 1 million singles. I personally think Definitely Maybe is a far better album. And for the life of me, I can't understand why in this country in particular, that when people were going to buy Morning Glory, they didn't buy Definitely Maybe. And I'd just like to say, where do you fucking get off on that? Well, you know, when you go to HMV to buy a copy of Morning Glory, you don't buy Definitely Maybe. What's that all about? You know, do you just do it to piss me off? I would... It's a source of... I could sit and think about that for hours. Have you got Definitely Maybe? And Morning... See, no, I can understand that. People are fucking weird.
Definitely Maybe or What's the Story Morning Glory. What is the best out of these two iconic Oasis 90s albums? These are two albums that can change the game for rock music in the 90s. I think Definitely Maybe just had this rawness, this grit, this kicking the door down of the rock industry. It's a pure rock and roll album. What I never understood about people who compared Oasis to the Beatles, for me that first album sounds like the Beatles dipped into the Sex Pistols. It doesn't sound like the Beatles straight up, so I feel like people who like to insult Oasis by saying they just ripped off the Beatles, I don't agree. I feel like they just engaged completely in their love for British rock. There's so much here, you know, and immediately Rock and Roll Star blasts through your speakers. There was no song like Rock and Roll Star in British rock music. Maybe even since. I mean, just the immediacy of that song, the statement of intent of that song. And the whole album is so consistent. I really like songs like Up in the Sky and Bring It On Down. You know, these songs don't even get talked about. I think the melodies are so strong and the statement of intent is so strong on those songs. And I love tracks such as Columbia, which create this kind of druggy atmosphere, this kind of clubby atmosphere, and show a little bit of experimentation. You got Cigarettes and Alcohol, which was kind of the voice of a generation at the time, such honest lyrics.
Probably take the most original bands of their time. And, you know, they're only playing what they've heard in their record collections. Alright, they might have a more eclectic record collection than you had, but my record collection consisted of the Beatles, the Stones, T-Rex, David Bowie, and lots of great hits, and that's what I used to listen to. I'm fucking arsed about fucking extra tracks on a fucking Pink Floyd bootleg from 1972. Give a shit, man. You know, I'd rather fucking listen to I'm the Walrus 20 times in a row.
And then obviously songs like Live Forever just completely blew everyone's minds because people weren't putting out such life-affirming songs at the time. Obviously we'd come out of the massive impact of grunge, and obviously Nirvana, you wouldn't know them as the happiest band, and all the bands they inspired, not the happiest bands. But then Oasis came along and went, you and I were going to live forever. Supersonic, for example, such a quick, immediate song with such a grit and such a memorable Liam Gallagher vocal that to this day might be his most memorable vocal melody. I need to be myself. I can't be no one else. I'm feeling supersonic. Give me gin and tonic. Because it didn't sound too polished, but it didn't sound too raw. It sounded commercial, but it didn't sound commercial. Like, it was this real balancing act. And then, of course, What's the Story Morning Glory took Oasis into the stars. It really, really did.
It was just like, no, this is going to work because I said it's going to work, and therefore it fucking will.
One of the best things about What's the Story Morning Glory is I feel like Definitely Maybe was a message to the people Oasis grew up with. An album almost made for their friends, but What's the Story Morning Glory was an album made for everyone. For everyone. Even though they'd reached a massive audience of regular people and Definitely Maybe, now it was the regular people, it was people from different walks of life, it was everyone. It's probably one of the most unifying albums ever released by any band. Is it a better album than Definitely Maybe? I don't know. You've got stuff like Hello, which, you know what, has a lot of the grit of Definitely Maybe. You could call What's the Story Morning Glory a more laid back album, it's less rocky, but Hello is pure rock and roll energy. When Liam's voice comes in on Hello, you feel like you're heading into a new era of music, like it's like such a powerful vocal. And then of course Some Might Say, which would probably be at home on Definitely Maybe as well. It's quite a rocky song and it engages in those phrases and those thoughts and feelings that you have as a regular person. And you got really good underrated songs such as Cast No Shadow, which might be the best song on the album. It was quite experimental for What's the Story because it didn't sound like anything else on there. Cast No Shadow's just got some glorious lyrics on there which leave you just silent, shocked at how poetic and how brilliant Noel Gallagher has written those lyrics.
Bound with all the weight of all the words he tried to say, chained to all the places that he never wished to stay. I mean, fucking hell, I have no recollection writing it, right? But when I heard it today, I was like, fucking hell, mate. Well done. You know, it's a great fucking line, you know. Profound even, do you know what I mean? And yeah, again, just writing on instinct.
And that's a positive because a lot of people look at What's the Story and they go, yeah, it's just anthems. There's nothing overly deep on there. Cast No Shadow is a deep song. It's incredibly well written. And I think songs like Some Might Say are quite deep. You got Wonderwall, of course. Over the years, Wonderwall has gone down in my estimation. I feel like they've written better love songs since then. Oasis did, and also Noel Gallagher has. But you can't deny the impact of it, and you can't deny that it works.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
She's Electric, the fun of it, the fact that they were writing songs now that could be converted to different venues and areas. She's Electric is played everywhere, parties, weddings, events. It just has that universal appeal.
She's electric, she's in a family full of eccentrics. She's done things I've never expected, and I need more time.
You got stuff like Morning Glory on there, which has the immediacy and the power and the disruption of Definitely Maybe. I think the way that Noel stepped up the melodies from Definitely Maybe to What's the Story Morning Glory, he was writing stuff that outdid any pop band, any rock band. Melody wise, he was just blowing everyone's socks off. Champagne Supernova carried you off into a certain place, and it was experimental and it was interesting and it was fun and it was anthemic and it was druggy and it was Beatles and it had everything to it.
How many special people change? How many lives are living strange? Where were you while we were getting high?
I feel like What's the Story Morning Glory is an album that has everything to it. There's loads of moods and themes on there, but all in all packaged in this unifying, very, very British way. Definitely Maybe had the quality of songs, but maybe not the pure melodies of What's the Story Morning Glory and the era-defining anthems of What's the Story Morning Glory.
Everyone wanted to make the songs the best they could, you know, I know what to do it to, and if that breeded a bit of fucking competition, then so be it, you know what I mean? But it was, I didn't want to go in there and be better than Bonehead or better than Griggs or, but I just wanted to go and be better than me, you know what I mean? I just wanted to go and do my thing, and if I just wanted to, when I heard them putting the songs on, I go, right, this fucking tune needs a banging vocal, so hopefully I can deliver it, you know what I mean?
For years, I've always said Definitely Maybe was probably the better album because I just enjoy listening to it so much. But it depends what you're judging it on, it really does. Just based on the listening experience, I'd probably go for Definitely Maybe. But What's the Story Morning Glory, there'll be a time when I listen to it every now and again where I just get sucked back in to that revelation that the album was. Definitely Maybe every listening experience is just, this is really strong, this is really, really great, this is brilliant. But when you listen to What's the Story Morning Glory, you get just drawn back into the way that a whole world opened up. I guess it is an unfair advantage it has over Definitely Maybe, but it's one of those moments in time you have to look at everything. in a package. So I guess overall, I might go for What's the Story in Morning Glory. What do you think, guys? What are you judging it on? What are your kind of parameters? What would you say? Do you think I'm right to focus on other elements, not just pure songs for What's the Story? Let me know in the comments below what you prefer. Definitely maybe What's the Story, Morning Glory. It's a difficult one, but which is better?